Do you want the Bengals to build an indoor practice facility? Well, you might be getting your wish. Hi again, everybody. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals Talk. And that's right. After years and years and years of talk, it could be happening. But first, I have to make sure you hit that subscribe button because, well, I got to be honest. We want to give the latest and greatest news to all the Bengals fans out there, not just 16,400 plus. No. We want every fan you know that is a fan of the orange and black to subscribe to this channel. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, and let's dive into this because Katie Blackburn, the Bengals executive vice president, Mike Brown's daughter, met with the media on Wednesday at the owners' meetings. And she revealed a couple of things in this big one from Jay Morrison of The Athletic. And I'm going to read a little bit here. She was asked, Katie was, about any movement on the possibility of an indoor stadium or indoor practice facility. As we know, the Bengals had to practice at the University of Cincinnati's indoor bubble in between the AFC Championship game and when they went to Los Angeles for Super Bowl 56. So having an indoor facility to practice in, kind of a big deal, especially with the extra week added on to the season. It's 17 regular season games, 18 weeks. You get into the playoffs, and the Super Bowl isn't until mid-February, which the Bengals obviously played until mid-February this past year. So let's dive into it. Here's what Katie had to say. We are considering ways to make that happen, as in a possible indoor facility. We are definitely looking to plan for that. We have some things to report. I'll be sure to be out there saying what we're thinking here, and we're actively looking at some things. It's something we realize would be good for us to have, so we're trying to find out ways to make it happen, essentially, is what she's saying. And a lot of people have talked about how it's going to help them recruit free agents and help them bring in veterans, and the Bengals really don't view it that way. In fact, she said, quote, not from a recruiting standpoint, just from a practicality standpoint of having an indoor place to practice. And it makes a ton of sense. And I think it was going to happen at some point. And this confirms it. There were rumblings behind the scenes, by the way, of this going on, of them looking at different sites, of it happening. But to me, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Joe Burrow effect. And I'm going to explain more in a second. But someone finished, this topic. One of the reporters said, all through January, halfway through February, ... implying, you planning on going on another Super Bowl run? And she said, exactly. We plan on needing it all the way to February. The mindset's different. At least the expectations are different for this team, for how they've built it, for, well, the quarterback. And I think that's where it stems from. It didn't feel like this when Carson Palmer was in town. It probably did when Boomer Esiason was in town. And for those that remember that, I don't, so I'm not going to speak to it. But the 90s didn't feel this way. It was the worst, right? The lost decade. The 2000s with Carson Palmer, they were fun and exciting, and Chad Johnson didn't feel like this. The 2010s were fun, and A.J. Green was a stud, and that defense was really, really good, and they had these fun weapons, and Marvin Jones and Mohamed Sanu and Tyler Eifert and Andrew Hawkins and a couple good running backs, Cedric Benson. Never really felt like Super Bowl contenders. After starting 8-0, they kind of fell on their face in 2015, and it didn't go well. And yeah, injuries played a part in that, but do you ever really think that Andy Dalton is what Joe Burrow has been in his first two seasons? I don't think so. And so that's where this comes from. That's where all of it comes from. I know I've joked with media members, and I've said, man, Joe Burrow is going to get them a practice facility, a stadium. He's going to inspire them to do all of these things. And look, there's a taxpayer element to this, and I don't know that aspect of it. I don't know what's gone on, if anything's gone on, if there's been any conversation. So we'll get there when we get there. But strictly from a how they do things standpoint, they clearly know that they have an opportunity here to make plenty of February runs. And they feel like they have the coach. And we can go back and forth on that all day long, but that's how they feel. They feel like they have the quarterback. They feel like they have the talent around him in a young core. And now they feel like they have the line, the offensive line. And they'll add to it in the draft, and they'll do all of these things. But an indoor practice facility, would not be shocked if they announce something in the near future about plans. But to me, with these things, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes until a plan is actually announced. And behind the scenes, they're certainly doing some things that would tell you that, yeah, it's going to happen and it should happen, right? I don't want Joe Burrow, with all due respect to my alma mater, the University of Cincinnati. You know what I don't want? Joe Burrow practicing and having to take a bus there during the week prior to traveling out to the Super Bowl and going through all of that. Not that they didn't get the work in that they needed. I'm sure it was fine. You kidding me? The Bearcats have plans to build not just a bubble, because they have a bubble right now, a temporary bubble, to build their own practice facility, an actual structure. The Bengals should have one too. Joe Burrow should have one too. This team is, deals with weather a lot. They should have one too. And it's good that they're moving in that direction. And I don't think we're here. I don't think we're talking about this if Joe Burrow isn't the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. I know I'm simplifying it a ton. And other quarterbacks could have won with this roster and thrown passes to Chase and done all of these things. I think that effect, his impact, you're seeing it. And they obviously need to continue to win. And they need to continue to move in the right direction and do all of these things and be a sustainable winner and get over the hump and win a Super Bowl at some point, right? Maybe in 2022. But you can see the shift. You can see it changing. I've been around this team for my entire life. I understand it, right? And been following this team, I guess I would say. Been around it for the better part of the past decade. So, with that said, it's exciting news. Figured I would drop by, give that to you. We're going to have a ton. We're pivoting to the draft. We will start to have mock drafts. I will start to talk about these prospects. I'm doing the homework now. So buckle up, Cincinnati Bengals fans, because it's going to be a fun, 4 weeks here as we're 4 weeks away from the NFL draft. I can't wait. And we're going to get you educated and the knowledge you need ahead of the NFL draft. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell. And for Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.